But dark days approached our two heroes. The pressure of staying on top was too intense, and both began to give in to their dark side.
When I think of baseball, the darkest days, I think, number 1, the Black Sox scandal with Shoeless Joe Jackson. Number 2, gambling with Pete Rose. And number 3, steroids with Barry Bonds and Gary Davis. If Shoeless Joe Jackson broke the heart of America, Gary Davis shattered it into a million pieces.
With me being the devoted pop culture historian that I am, I did some digging on him, and I found out that, during his college years, or actually prior to that, before his tenure with Coca-Cola, he was actually a very talented Major League Baseball player for the Oakland Athletics. And he won many awards and many citations. He had a very impressive batting average and scored many home runs within a single season. And but unfortunately, he was kicked off of the team for abuse of steroids, which back in those days was more of a serious offense than it is now. It's kind of more looked down and frowned upon then, and so subsequently he was forced to resign from the major leagues, and then later he became, a very capable representative of Coca-Cola, and so after the release of the movie The Coca-Cola Kid in 1985, that really inspired him a lot, and I think that movie drove him to succeed more. So he traveled abroad to Australia, and which he began to really sell and push Coca-Cola there, and he was responsible for Coca-Cola actually becoming very huge over there, and so he was one of the first pioneers that originally brought the beverage of choice to that continent. So it's quite impressive, and I didn't even know that. And of course, if you ask him these things, he'll deny it. But it's pretty interesting. And so he's a pretty talented individual, and it's a shame that his Major League Baseball career was derailed from poor choice of of drug abuse and everything. But if he had not done that, he probably could have gone on to become the greatest player in history, perhaps. Who knows? And today, since so many Major League Baseball players are already on some type of controlled substance anyway, or some type of steroids, it wouldn't even be a big deal now. So it's really a shame that it had to end so early, because I know he could have been great.
One day, when we think about the most excellent artists in the canon, we think about people like Da Vinci, we think about Picasso, we think about Michelangelo. But superseding all of those, really, for me, and for lots of people at the NEA, is the work of Anne Lee Sims Buck Davis. And it's hard to talk about an artist like Anne, because she really, if they're here, we have Michelangelo and Da Vinci here, she really is way up here. It's not, there's a huge chasm there. It's not comparable. I should be saying them in the same sentence. She's incredible. I have a book that she signed on my bedside table, my house. She's one of the chairman's favorites. I really don't know what else to say. It's unprecedented. Her fame, unprecedented.
Ann Davis, she's also a very talented person, a very talented artist, and I enjoy her paintings a lot. Her work that she does, they're very well done. They're very lifelike, and they're fun to look at. her monthly calendars that she does. Those are so neat and everything. And I always I've become sort of a little bit intimidated and fearful around her because over the years as a painter, she's just I think she's just gotten so obsessed and driven with her work that she's just sort of gotten down into this fantasy world of hers where she's unable to clearly distinguish reality from fantasy, and as a result, she becomes sort of very driven, in almost kind of a scary type way. Because I recall one time, when I was visiting the Davis home in Chattanooga there, and she was working on a painting in her workroom, and I just ventured in there. I was just curious as to what was going on, and I asked her what was happening, what she was working on, and she yelled at me and screamed at me and just told me to get the F out of there. And so I just after that I didn't go much back around. So I was I like her and everything, but I think she's just kind of obsessive. What do you think?
Good.
Not bad.
Gary and Ann, after experiencing the top of the mountain, were both at rock bottom. Having skipped college to enter the professional world, they each decided to return to school to complete their education.
In the cafeteria.
Aunt Betty and I went to Furman for Parents' Day because Big Buck wouldn't go. He probably had to go hunting, and I went. Betty and I was sitting there at the table in the cafeteria, and Ann asked me to come. She wanted me to meet somebody, and there was Gary standing at the end of the cafeteria line waiting for his date, who was serving dinner to people working in the cafeteria. And I thought that was awfully strange for Ann to take me all the way across the cafeteria to meet somebody, but she wanted me to meet him.
How long after that was he in Columbia?
I would say about 3 or 4 weeks. It wasn't long after that she was dating him. And I think she met him the summer before. Ann went to Furman for a camp between her junior and senior year at college, at high school. And I think she met Gary then.
Right, but what was Mom doing at that? What was Mom doing there, and what was Dad doing there?
I have no idea what your dad was doing there, but your mother was there because one of her teachers at Flora thought it would be advantageous for her to go, and she would be enrolled at Furman. She wouldn't even have to apply. And so she stayed there for 6 weeks.
So Mom was there for like advanced placement.
Yeah.
But Dad was there for summer school.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. I didn't know.
That's where they met.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And your dad was dating Ann's roommate.
Who? Which was who?
I can't remember her name, but she turned out to be an archaeologist.
Ooh. Interesting.